the sound.
All right. Hello and welcome everyone to What is a Business Workflow. My name is Michelle Anatua, co-owner of Harmony's Divine Design, where I work alongside the amazing T Weaver. At Harmony's Divine Design, we work with new and seasoned entrepreneurs, helping you guys get out that stuck place. So we do this by offering one-on-one business coaching, online classes such as this one, and products and services to help streamline your workflow. So that last word is why we are here today. We are talking about workflow. So, if you guys wouldn't mind either hopping on the mic or, typing in the chat, have you heard about workflow? And if so, what is your interpretation of it?
My interpretation of workflow is I look at the screen going, I can do this, but then I'm stuck because
Gotcha.
it's like I got all the ideas. Okay. All the ideas come and I can write them all down and I got booklets full of ideas. But when it comes to um, actually getting it from the place that it was created to the selling platform and then doing all that, it's just like, excuse me, my family is awake.
No worries.
Um, it's just like, sometimes that workflow for me is where I get stuck the very most.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Anyone else like to share?
I would say for me, oh, I apologize.
Okay. Renee, go ahead and then Sarah.
Okay. I would say for me, workflow is my definition of it is the tools and the processes is a combination of basically the tools and the processes that are put in place to achieve whatever the desired tasks are that I'm working on. Um, Obviously that would include the combination of various platforms and other procedures, whatever those tools are that you use on a daily basis to achieve those results is what workflow, the definition of a workflow is for me personally. Um, I know that, and I will say as an executive assistant, that workflow is pretty consistent on a daily basis. Obviously, it sometimes requires a little bit of tweaking in order to achieve optimum results and efficiencies. So it's something that is obviously can be, like I said, can be tweaked or improved upon on the given the scenario that I'm or a particular task that I'm working on in any given day.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you,
You're
Sarah.
welcome.
I guess workflow for me is the steps A through Z, creating a product and all the steps I take into listing it, getting it to its final state, um, and all of the platforms or apps that I use to create along the way, whether it's Canva for my branding, or Midjourney to create the art itself, or my Google Drive to save the files and then make the link. I feel though sometimes my steps are a little chaotic, so
Gotcha.
that I'm looking for an easier flow of that in terms of creating the product, downloading the file somewhere, then creating my link and sending the letter, and so that they can get the product. I feel like I sometimes it feels like I'm too back and forth with my workflow in order to get to the end.
I understand that so much. So much. So I will say, for me, when it comes to a workflow, it's pretty much from idea to fruition, right? So in a well worked out, streamlined type of workflow, you get the idea, you make or do whatever it is that you have to do, and then you release. However, we also know that distractions come, other ideas come while you're working on one. Um, and there's a lot of things that can distract us from actually finishing said product. So before I go any further, hi everyone that just joined. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I do have a short presentation for you guys talking about workflow. And I hope that it can, and then beyond that, I also have a PDF. So I know most of you in here are familiar with ChatGPT. So this is an exercise that you can do into ChatGPT that will assist you in identifying those bottlenecks with your workflow. So those things, those areas that you say, for instance, may ask ChatGPT to redo consistently, but you've done it before. So it'll help highlight those areas for you and how we can involve on streamlining that workflow for you. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pause the music and start the presentation. Today, we're going to be talking about what is a business workflow. And, you know, when it comes to business, we hear a lot of jargon, right? We hear workflow, we hear streamlining, we hear processes, and, you know, all these words. And sometimes we may have a concept of what they mean, but it really helps to provide yourself a clear picture of that definition and how it applies to you in your business. Okay. Let's go ahead. So, what exactly is a workflow? Well, for one, it is a repeatable process. So, it's a sequence of steps that can be followed consistently. So, say for instance, one workflow that you can already have in line is email campaigns. So if you know you're going to launch a new product or you're going to launch a new service, then to follow email campaigns should be one of your orders of actions to help promote that new entity. What does that look like though? So I know for some of us, content creation is a bottleneck. Email campaigns are a bottleneck. Lead magnets are a bottleneck. So when it comes to moving your product, I can understand why it still may be sitting on your computer if you don't have a clear process of what your what next should look like and how you should action it. Okay. Creating a workflow is you creating a step-by-step order that is easy for you, that will assist you in following through with the actions or tasks that it is at hand. All right. So also within a workflow, it is your system structure. So it's the backbone of your daily operations. A workflow, even though we may think of different services and processes, softwares and things like that, it really is, what is your daily ritual? What is your daily habits? Okay. So say for instance, for me, I wake up at 6 a.m. every morning. Well, my quote unquote personal workflow is I have to wake up, get myself together so that I can go ahead and address my family and get them together. In the meantime, I utilize my time in a very intentional way. So when I wake up, I may go ahead, of course, utilize the facilities. Afterwards, it's my quiet time. So I designate 20 minutes in the morning of just peace. I'm not turning the TV on, I'm not checking my phone. I'm sitting there and I'm meditating. After that, I get up from there. I'll make my tea or my coffee, whichever one. And then I'll go ahead and start my process of waking up my kids, et cetera, et cetera. The same way that we go through our daily routines from start to finish should be the same way that we're able to go throughout actioning systems and processes within our business. So that's why when it comes to workflow, it is really and truly your invisible framework, right? It supports what it is your idea is to deliver it to your customer base, your target audience, or your intended messenger, right? So your workflow is literally, think of it as the wheels and cogs of your business. So many times when it comes to past work experiences, I'll say, we have experienced tons of emotions. We may have been overwhelmed. We know what it feels like to have missed the deadline. to feel burnout, to be busy, but not productive. The sad part is a lot of us normalize that behavior. So when it comes to these emotions, they're very valid and they're very factual in what you're experiencing because there is no organized flow that you're working in. Okay. So I know there's a term that my mom used to use. She's like, I'm organized chaos. Well, that contradicts itself in a statement because if you're organized, you should be able to flow, right? You should be able to do things with ease. And then when you add chaos, you are basically providing disruption. So when it comes to your workflow within your business, are you bringing peace or disruption? Are you bringing peace by outlining your tasks, checking in with yourself on what it is you have to do? Creating templates for things that you do with redundancy? Or are you reinventing the wheel every time you come up with a new project or a new idea? So when it comes to our businesses, we want to stop normalizing that chaos, right? Being an entrepreneur is stressful enough. And it challenges you enough. So if we can simplify something or make something easier, then I am definitely all for it. So, why exactly does a good workflow matter? Well, the first is your time. Our time is something that we cannot get more of. So, we want to make sure that with the time that we are actioning on things, we're doing it with intention, and we are also utilizing and maximizing our time. Okay. So, like I said, you don't want to start from scratch with every project, and you don't want to reinvent the wheel. So, time protection systems free your calendar for high value activities, and you gain hours back each week. Be mindful of how you're spending your time. If you assess your workflow right now and you're doing a lot more busy work than productive work, then analyze, okay, what are the high value tasks? What are the high priorities? Where do I need to put my immediate focus? Because it's very easy for us to create a to-do list with 20 things on it. But let's be honest, that we're not going to get 20 things done all in one day. But what I will say is target 3 high priority items on your list, action on them, and then start going down. And you'll be surprised how you gain hours back. All right. The next is consistency. So your brand experience remains reliable. Clients know what to expect every time. When you are consistently showing up in your business, it shows with your interactions with your customers, whether it be students, fellow consumers, what have you. And showing up for your business, in the beginning can feel a bit chaotic and give you that overwhelming feeling because it's accountability that's being associated with it. In order for your business to move, you have to be accountable for the actions that you're taking in making it run. You have to consistently show up for it, whether it is a half hour a day or you're able to work a full 8 hours in it. You have to show up for your business every day. And when you're showing up, you want to make sure that you are utilizing, again, that time to the best of your ability. All right, next we have scalable growth. So documented processes make delegation simple. Your business can expand beyond you. One thing that I will say about being an entrepreneur, being a CEO, you are literally a visionary. You have taken a dream, a concept, an idea, and you are crafting it, molding it, working it to become something tangible, whether digitally or physically, but tangible. And when it comes to our businesses, we know that by us having such a big vision for ourselves, we have to start putting in the steps and setting ourselves up for that success. Okay. So starting now, implementing workflows that help you on your day-to-day tasks. It may seem something very simple, but once you get it, quote unquote, like a well-oiled machine, you'll be able to start putting your attention on other areas. And that allows you the potential to grow your business. Okay. Lastly, we have visionary leadership. So, mental space for big picture thinking. You can lead instead of scramble. I will tell you guys, please do brain dumps. Being a visionary, being a CEO of your business, you have so many ideas. You are constantly thinking of something new, how you can evolve, how you can do, the new thing. Do a brain dump, get it out your mind. Because when you do that and you actually have it in front of you, you can then start prioritizing on what it is you're going to tackle next. Okay. So I know we have a very big picture mindset. So now we're just putting in those steps so we could get there. All right. So example of workflows. First is client onboarding, from inquiry to welcome pack to your first deliverable. So that's a workflow right there. From talking to a person, having that engagement, if they are enlisting in your services, providing them with a welcome pack, and then whatever the actual product or service, the first deliverable. That's a workflow. So social media posting, so content creation. So you create your post or your reel. Next is you schedule it. So if you are planning for something to be released tomorrow at 2 p.m., go ahead and schedule that content out. Engagement. Once that content has been released, if you see people speaking on it, liking it, engage back with them. Respond to those comments, respond to those remarks, and look at your analytics. It's important to know your numbers. So see what posts are working, see what posts aren't working, and how you could pivot if need be. Morning CEO routine. So a moment of reflection. Take that time out for you. Okay, this goes back to that personal routine I was telling you guys about earlier. Priority setting. While you are in your you time, make that list of what it is that you need to get done today and highlight the top 3. Okay. Next, strategic work blocks. Identify anything that is going to hinder you from getting something done. Okay. If you can identify that bottleneck, you can also identify a pivot around it and continue to move forward. Another workflow is payment processing. So you have a product, you created an invoice, the payment has been received, and now it's been recorded on your books. So each step within these flowed from beginning to completion. Okay. And that's the way that we want to start doing things within our business. So, what are some of the signs that you may actually need a workflow? Well, for one, you wing it too often. You're making the same decisions on repeat. So, again, this goes back to the restarting the wheel, reinventing the wheel. A lot of the things that we create, we've created a variation of it prior. Okay. We may edit it, we may make amends and things like that. But really and truly, the concept is still the same. Start thinking about ways that you can utilize templates to help ease your day-to-day routines, whether it be templates for your email, for content creation, for product creation. Think of ways that you can start making your workflow simpler. All right. Another thing, tasks get delayed. So a lot of things start falling through the cracks, but instead of it being a 1 or 2 time thing, this is something that's happening on a regular basis. Well, when things start falling through the cracks on a regular basis, that means that your mind isn't organized on what it is you have to do. Instead, you are doing the winging it. And then what happens is you have an idea over here, you start working, then you remember you had to do something over here, then you start working on that. And then before you know it, it's 9 o'clock at night. You've done a lot of work, but nothing's done. Okay. Next, we have the reinventing the wheel. Like I said before, constantly having to start from scratch. I myself was very guilty of this. I create a lot of content. So I was constantly redoing my templates until I took my own advice and created templates, which now has cut down my time, you know, a percentage off my time that I was spending editing and creating before. So it does help when you streamline those things. Lastly, we have inconsistent results. So your quality varies dramatically. You know, when it comes to our businesses, the message that we send out to our consumer, we want to make sure that it is consistent across the board, from having a positive experience to a positive interaction with a service or a product that we provide them. We want to make sure that we're showing up in all ways. So even though we may not think that a lack of workflow can show up in what we do, as you see from here, it does. And it's in behaviors that we naturally do. So I want you guys to start thinking about, like I said, how you can create that ease. Okay. So, mindset shift. We ultimately want to go from chaos to creativity, to have that flow, right? And a lot of times, you know, people may have a negative disposition to structure. But when it comes to running a business, structure is needed. And structure actually provides you that freedom. You know, there's nothing like having certain things on automation for your business for it to be running on its own. And you're able to handle whatever other task, family matter, or even a vacation. You know, but you already know, because of your workflow, because of the automations, because of your operations, your business is good. That's the type of piece that you ultimately want to get to. I know that's the piece I'm looking to get to as well. All right. So from chaos is creativity. The myth that disorder fuels innovation. It doesn't. Disorder can create anxiety. Disorder can create confusion. You know, a lot of times, many of us are creative in those quiet spaces. When I know for me, I'll speak from personal experience real quick. I know my mind feels better when my house is clean. After a good deep clean, the air feels fresh in space. That's where my creativity flows the best. When there's clutter and chaos around me, it's a disruption. Okay. So I want you guys to think of workflows as a positive aspect of how you're going to start moving your business forward. All right. So next steps. This Saturday, we are going to be holding a class helping the creative workflow. And in this particular class, I'm going to be diving deeper in what does a workflow actually look like for a creative, right? Like, being a creative, we think a little differently. So when it comes to, you know, the standard tasks, it can be a bit much. And as my thank you for you guys coming and showing up I do have a special discount for you, and I'll be dropping all of this in the chat as well. So let me go ahead and stop my share, and I'm gonna have a chit chat with you guys. How is that? How are you thinking about workflows now?
Well, for me, it was like, okay, you just like smacked me in the face and said, okay, this is what you really are doing because the one at the end, the busy, but not getting anything done. I'm that to me. I'm busy, 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 but it doesn't seem like, yeah, it doesn't seem like I'm getting everything accomplished that I feel like I'm accomplishing, but I'm really not accomplishing it.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I understand that completely. Definitely. Anyone else like to share?
I am the same. I know what to do. I know how to do it. It's just a doing it.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Um,
I,
oh, go ahead.
I, I'm sorry, I don't want to cut anybody off.
You're okay. Go ahead, Renee. And then Demia.
Yeah, I totally agree. Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I totally agree with both ladies that just spoke. I know that I need to, well, what I should be doing, like as you pointed out in your presentation, but saying and doing are two different things. And so I just feel like with a few enhancements, like you said, working with the templates, I'm not one who typically work with templates. Although I know that would be very beneficial, I don't doubt it. So I'm open to making whatever adjustments I need to make in order to um, just improve and to be better at what I do and to, and I think it all starts with just that acknowledgement. So I thank you for sharing the presentation, Michelle, because you broke it down in such a way, it was very simplistic, but it had good content. And so I just need to really think about implementing some of your suggestions so that I can be better and be a better service to others.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Demia.
Hi. So yeah, she was talking to me all up and down. The and thank you for doing this. So workflows have been definitely on my mind a lot lately, and even asking ChatGPT to create workflows for me. I do need to do the brain dump because I have so much in my head all the time. And what you said about you know, feeling like you doing all this stuff. And then he's like, well, where did the day go? I mean, that's my everyday. I'm like, I have a list of things that I'm going to work on and then trying to find a way to limit the distractions because I'll get a text or I get a alert for some other class. So definitely feeling the need because I was definitely a person who was like, oh, I do my best work under chaos. And no, that I don't know who told me that lie, but that's a lie. All I'm doing is burning myself out. So thank you for the work that you're doing around and teaching us about workflows.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I'm dropping a PDF in the chat. Um, and I'll get to you in 1 second, Chris. And what I would like, if you guys can, if your chat GPT is available for you, I want you to go ahead and drop that PDF in chat GPT. And I want you to prompt it what is it? Per these questions in your memory of me, can you answer them for me? Okay. Because I want ChatGPT to give you the response because I want you guys to be able to see what you're entering in on a consistent basis, and how and where, start identifying where those bottlenecks may be. All right. Chris, you got your hand up?
Yeah, I was just gonna say the distractions. I really truly um yeah, they're a lot. They're a lot. I am a stay-at-home mom. I'm homeschooling. I do this, I do that. The distractions are overwhelming to say the least. I agree with Demia. They just you wake up, I wake up super early and it's quiet, and I write my list down or I write it down before the bed and I have an idea of what I want, and then boom, let's okay, 11 o'clock comes, and it's time to turn from the quiet person into the mom and the wife, and to take care of the critters and the animals and everything around you, and it's like, oh my goodness, I was in a flow, and then all of a sudden I had to abruptly stop it because it's like I have to turn on that other side of me. And so
Right.
I can't get that quiet moment back to go back into my brain to start working on what I was working. So yes, the distractions is so much sometimes.
Gotcha. So I will say this. If you make your list say at night or in very first thing in the morning, for you, and this is for all of you guys, remember to highlight those top three things, right? So say if you were working on a project yesterday, you came to a stopping point, make sure you put that as maybe number one, especially if you're up against a deadline or a timeline that you put against yourself. Make sure you put that as number one. What's the next thing you know you need to complete for it? Okay. Then following that, whatever other top priority you have. But if we action those things in the morning, because that's the one thing that I try to do, because like you said, I'm a stay-at-home mom. So I understand also those distractions, what it's like when you got to stop your schedule because of the kids and things and everything. And it's a lot. I'll even tell Chatty if I'm in the middle of a workflow and my alarm goes off, can we put a pin in this? I'm coming back to this. So do the same thing for your list. If you're working on a project, you're coming up against towards the end of it, and something takes your attention away, jot down really quick, finish XYZ. So say if you have to finish the animation on your picture, finish the animation on your picture. That's the first thing you tackle. It's understandable that life comes in, right? That there's absolutely nothing we can do about that. But one thing that we are responsible for is ourselves and how we can action and handle us. So when it comes to creating a workflow, whether it be from your personal habits and routines to the professional, you're the one that is responsible for keeping that consistency. You're the one that's responsible for keeping that accountability for yourself as well. So I know each and every one of you in here can do it, hands down. I mean, listen, especially Supermod Janice over here, I know she got a whole lot of things going on. Just as well as Kristen and everything. You all have such wonderful gifts and talents, right? But there's just one little thing. And then I swear, when you identify what it is, it will surprise you. Like, really? I keep asking Chatty that because I will tell you, before I got on here with you guys, I did it myself. And Chatty told me about myself. I said, oh, okay. So I'm a teacher that practices what she preaches. So as I'm learning, teaching you guys about workflow, I'm learning how, even within myself, I can better assess for my business, for my growth, so I can continue to help you guys as well. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the link for Saturday's class. And there is an exclusive 40% off promo code with it. So let me grab that for you guys. So was anybody able to do the exercise? Let me check. All right, so Demia, 3 consistent friction points, slowing your flow or causing repeated revisions. You'll start something super sassy and snarky, then pivot to soulful or vice versa. It's all you, but the inconsistency mid-project makes it harder to finish. I get it. Lena said Chatty's reading her again. I'm going to share with you guys what Chatty told me about myself as well. You know, because Chatty will let you know. Does anybody have any questions? Any comments in the meantime?
I can't wait to see what's gonna be on the other side of, these new workflows and things that we're creating for ourselves.
As soon as I get a free moment today, I will definitely do that little sheet or the PDF that you sent us.
Cool, no problem, no problem.
Yeah, reading us for filth again.
Oh goodness, yeah. Listen, I try to provide value and definitely, provide you guys with tools that will ultimately align you up with your success. I say it all the time. I'm just grateful to be a little blip in your journey, you know. So that to me is fulfilling. It's very fulfilling. All right, so let me let y'all read what Chad even said about me. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull that y'all in the chatty. I'm going to upload the same PDF I dropped in the chat. Where you are, memory of me. Answer. All right. So, Chatty goes absolutely based on your past interactions, preferences, and what I've learned about you. Here's what I'd answer the questions from Breakthrough Your Bottleneck. So, number 1, based on my past requests, what patterns do you notice in how I struggle to clarify my ideas and be specific? You often come in with rich, layered vision, but don't always start with a structure first. You tend to build as you speak, meaning your ideas unfold mid conversation, and I am very guilty of that. This can lead to needing rewrites or rewording when the original request evolves. For example, you'll often begin a task, then pivot or clarify the tone or purpose. You occasionally jump between multiple goals. So class promotion, image creation, course structure, which can make it hard to pin down your exact priority for that moment. Number 2, so what type of information do I tend to leave out when asking for help? So identify gaps in my thinking or context. You sometimes skip the why behind your request. You'll give me what you want, write an email for this class, but not always why this class matters, what the audience pain points are, or how this fits your bigger strategy. Until a few prompts later, this slows clarity at the start. Also, while you often mention your style preferences for art or tone, you don't always restate them in each project. So unless I recall your memory, I'd miss details like needing a dragonfly or airbrush vector style. So number 3, when I give you broad ideas, what assumptions am I making that might be blocking clear execution? You tend to assume I know what part of the funnel or journey your user is in. For example, saying create a caption for my class could mean for lead generation, retention, or re-engagement. You might also assume I know the deliverable format. So caption versus email versus workbook copy right away. Another assumption is that you expect a fast, flowy tone. So if something feels too stiff or salesy, you revise it, but might not flag up front what tone you want from the jump. So, as Chatty is lovingly reading me, it goes to show that where our bottlenecks actually are. So for me, I am a do it type of person. So I get the idea, I want to do it. But sometimes, as Chatty noted, I might leave out some details, such as the tone or the email. So for me, I actually have to have Chatty slow me down, rewind it back so it can pull out all the details that I need for a particular project. Okay. And with you guys answering these questions, I hope you can start identifying, where some of those areas are. And then with the class on Saturday, which is a follow-up to this, not only will we be identifying these bottlenecks, but we're going to take it a step further and create a custom GPT. So where that trouble area is that you have, you're now going to have a GPT that's going to assist you through it. So now it won't be that bottleneck anymore. Okay. So any questions or comments before we wrap up?
This was great. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes, thank you for making me realize what I already knew, but in a better way.
Thanks, Lena. Mwah. Love you, love you. Thank you, thank you. All right, guys. Well, I gotta go. Head on out of here. I thank you so much for spending your time with me. As always, I never take it for granted. Always appreciate it. And yeah, I'll look forward to seeing some of you guys on Saturday. So talk to you soon. Bye, guys. Gonna spread some love. Gonna make you feel fine. So open up your heart.